I'm Ben Ibrahim, and today, let's speak to one particular creative businessman who always says, let's aim for the stars, as this is Entrepreneur. Okay, I'm back, everybody. And I forgot to mention Johan Nawawi, our guest today, was also once a composer, but now he's an animation businessman. Johan, welcome to the show and thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, Ben.
Why this business? Why animation?
I think it's quite natural to go to animation.
Really?
Yes, I mean, to me it's still creativeness, it's still in the creative industry. It's like writing a song. It's just that now you're writing, you're composing the whole picture. Of course, I still write songs. I never stop writing.
Okay.
And this is the time my opportunity to put in my songs in the animation as well.
Pada mulanya memang persetujuan bersama jugalah. Bila kita discuss, bila kita nak buat konten untuk anak-anak, memang kita tahu animation yang paling dekat sekali kan. Macam kita tengok history sebelum ni pun. Jadi kita memang decide sama-sama kita nak buat animation lah. Dan kita rasa macam this is something new untuk kita. Tapi kita macam ada passion untuk nak buat tu. So kita learn daripada scratch dan kita jumpa the right kata kawan-kawan lah yang menasihatkan kita prosedur pertama, kedua, ketiga dan keempat dan seterusnya lah. Dalam production ni saya banyak kepada konten lah, kepada cerita tu sendiri dan juga involve karakter-karakter yang terdapat dalam musim ini tu dan untuk Johan untuk business dan juga strategi lah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, when you first started this business, how would you rate your financial skills? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, of course.
Financials? What skill do I have? Well, I know. I know people.
Okay.
I make sure I get the best people who can advise me. Of course, I see how the track records.
Okay.
And I also have friends who are successful. And what else? Get free advice. You know, they're just there, and go have coffee.
When you first started this business, what kind of financial advice were you getting to get this business off the ground? Because this business is tough.
Actually, I knew about the toughness a bit later then. I was enjoying myself. Being a musician, it's always about passion. I want to do this. I want to see how it transpires, but not realizing how much do I really need. Then, of course, I had a friend who already started the animation business. So he told me it's not that bad. You just have to have some kind of investment, etc. And me and my wife, after we came up with an idea of a story, we went to MDEC. And luckily enough, MDEC gave us a grant. And eventually, we went on and experienced many things.
What year was that?
In 2009.
2009, not that long ago that you got that grant. And how much was that grant?
Around 2 million.
2 million, okay. With that 2 million, what kind of expenses did you spend it on to get the business going? Because they always say in business, that's the toughest part, getting it going.
After 2 years, then I realized, wow, how fast it is. I mean, the grant is about to finish. And we're already now going for another round, looking for funds. We are also asking for people, any other corporate, not just banks.
Investors.
Well, we're lucky today, especially after winning the award. We got people calling us, so we think we're quite lucky to sustain to this limit at this time.
You first started this business in the year 2009 with a capital of about 2 million ringgit.
Yeah, injection.
Injection, I like that word. But with that cash flow, when you first started this business, what did you do with it? What did you spend it on? What kind of expenses?
I'm basically not an animator. So the first thing I have to find out is I have to get a good animators.
Manpower.
Manpower and resources. It's good that I have friends who are already in the business who introduced me to the right party. But of course, everything goes back to the substance. you have to have the right story before you even do the animation.
Your storyboard.
Yeah, so I've got to have the right people, the script writers, the storyboarding people, you know, and oh yeah, of course, when you talk about animation, you got to have people who come up with the sketches, the characters. And then it's all about coming up with the right story, the people, and eventually the machines.
Being a creative hub, which one is more important? The skills of the manpower or the equipment? Which one would you buy first?
Manpower anytime.
Manpower anytime, yeah. Why?
From my experience, machines, you can have any type of machines, any software. I've seen people who handles the most expensive software, or even the free software they can download from the internet, but in the end, still the skills.
Based on your experience as an entrepreneur, what are the benefits and disadvantages of having a business partner?
Benefits, definitely, if your business partner is well-to-do, the proper network and contacts will help you a lot. I mean, who to know, where to go and stuff. The bad part of it is later they might not be interested in the business
in the long run.
In the long run, or they say, "Oh, sorry, guy, I'm friend. You know, I got my other things to do." All the best, you know. Or the worst scenario I've heard where your partners just run away, you know,
right.
and you're left alone. Yeah. So that will be a nightmare when you have business like that. Yeah.
Now you've been in business, especially in this business, the entertainment business, for a very long time.
Yeah.
What have you learned about yourself, skills-wise, knowledge-wise, experience-wise, as an entrepreneur?
To be frank, you have to have that tolerance level, high tolerance level. You have to be patient enough, and you have to be ready to meet a lot of sharks. You're not knowing who your enemy are, and they all look the same, you know, or your competitors, and also friends and foes. But at the same time, you have to be determined. You have to have faith. You have to believe in God. You know that after a lot of perseverance and tolerance, you will achieve it somehow.
What Johan is saying is no different to most of the entrepreneurs that we've spoken to on this show in the service industry. If you set up a service business, make sure your biggest investments go towards your human capital first, because those skills are hard to come by and those skills are also quite expensive. We're just going to take a very short commercial break right here on Entrepreneur, but when we come back, we're going to learn more about the animation and entertainment business. Stick with us right here on Entrepreneur.
Tuhan berikan pedoman, tunjukkan aku arah jalan yang kau redai. Tuhan berikan pedoman, dan bila ku menjauh kembali ke pangkal jalan.
So far in this episode of Entrepreneur with Johan Nawawi, we've learned that manpower creative talent is the most expensive talent, and the talent that you should invest in, or the expense that you should invest in. From a numbers point of view, what other things really drives up the cost and really throws off the balance sheet and the budgets?
Okay. Of course, we realized later when we did our numbers, we were thinking of medium scale top end machines. You know, CPU.
So now we're on the equipment phase.
Yeah, the equipment.
Yes.
I mean, after the resources.
After getting the resources.
Yeah, the right people, and they
Okay.
start saying, I think, Mr. Johan, we need this, we need that, you know, with the right recipe, with the right tools.
And all you're
Right.
thinking is ching, 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 right?
Yeah, of course. And we realize, oh, you mean you have to have that one, not this one, not the middle, you know, scale?
Not the cheapest one?
Yeah, of course. And what do we have to do next? Oh, we have to do rigging and rendering. What is that? You know, I was still learning at the same time, trying to explore. I mean, trying to throw in ideas, you know. And I realized, yeah, it's all about pitching. Again, the mistake we did was in our numbers, we were presuming that we were doing mediocre. And yeah, I realized also that we were doing a certain middle type of quality of animation. But we realized if we do that, we're gonna miss the other market, which is the global market.
But what is the difference between local standards and international standards in the animation business?
That one goes back to the experts. I managed to meet my old buddy. His name is Jeffrey. He used to run an advertising company, and people in advertising, they always tell me you only have one chance in the market.
Wow, that's
If
tough.
that first chance and the public says this is not working, that's it. There goes your 13 episodes. So we had to revamp, and of course we took in some other people as well. What I mean, the resources and re-rigging the characters, reacted and bought some equipment, and finally this is what we got. And Alhamdulillah, after that we won the award. It was like, oh, thank God. We didn't know where we are because we don't set the standards.
Of course not.
The industry sets the standards.
You mentioned earlier there's a lot of sharks out there in terms of competition. But what is your revenue-making formula?
I'm happy that I have an accountant who studied accounts who tells me, oh,
don't we all need accountants?
And you can't just spend money, you have to think of how to recover. I did not say that we're making money yet, but because our animation will only be out in June. But the good thing is we're already having offers. Many TV stations, not just local, are already asking for our program. And we're already thinking about doing merchandising.
Right.
And about this business, I'm willing to share. I got this philosophy from Haji Baradin, who owns Lesko Park, who told me, Johan, the business is not just about the story,
the product,
the product, but it's the spin-off, which is the merchandising, the licensing, the endorsement, the sponsorship, and that probably be 70% of your revenue.
On that note, the very popular term in Malaysian business is pandai cari duit.
Oh, okay.
So what's your pandai cari duit tactic to find that big pot of gold out there to finance your other projects and this project?
We were lucky that me and my wife, we come from the music industry. We know how to make things popular. Like 6 months ago, we won the award for the songs, the AM award. And of course, when the NEF AWANI came up with the animation, the award contest, we sent our trailer. And our 5-minute trailer and plus our pitching, etc., we managed to win.
First attempt kita adalah kita memenangi animasi terbaik dalam NEF AWANI. Saya rasa itu pencapaian yang cukup membanggakan untuk kita sebagai company yang baru. Tapi itu kira achievement yang pertama, dan insyaAllah kalau kita diberi peluang lagi, dan Alhamdulillah setakat ini pun memang banyak peluang yang datang, kita akan tak lepaskan peluang itu dan kita akan gunakan dengan sebaik mungkin.
But how do you make something popular?
Okay, how do?
Because if you make something popular, you can make a lot of money.
I charge you for my class.
Okay. Another revenue pandai cari duit tactic.
Well, it's not easy, but you got to know the right element, the right connection.
Right.
Definitely you need to know the media.
Right.
The media plays a big role.
Really.
And coming from the entertainment industry, it helps a lot when you know journalists. You not only know journalists, you know the editors. So it helps when you can just, hey buddy, I got this event. Can you send your people to they do and send and cover.